The Graveyard book was just exciting. It was just that whole combination of the assassins, the orphan, the dead, the graveyard, that made it just the most distinguished contribution to American literature for children.
And the committee was very excited to see the consistency of the paintings of the children within that book. There was a sense of joy, there was a sense of radiating happiness, and children celebrating who they were as African Americans.
It covers this beautiful struggle. It's a hauntingly beautiful story of the struggle of freedom for the Cuban people.
Mostly it was the dual narrative. There are two, and it's a mystery. It's kind of a genre blending. There are two groups of friends that are separated by 20 years in an Australian boarding school, but they are somehow mysteriously connected.
That book is about a young girl with learning disabilities, but the most important part about Waiting for Normal is that actually the normal she's looking for is a stable home and a stable family life.
This was the most outstanding electronic source of the year and incorporates a lot of new interactive Web 2.0 stuff.
The person narrating was really the only person who could do this book. It's got all his foibles and interesting way of speaking.
We felt that this was a true piece of storytelling in the African American oral tradition, and that Kadir Nelson's words fit the tone of the illustrations, and that it was superb.
He worked for 8 years on this book, and it's evident in every word that he writes and every picture that he draws.
It's a whimsical, beautiful story, heart-felt story about the events or the journey of Senor Calavera as he picks up gifts for Grandma Bee.
It's just a wonderful, affirming story of music in his life, and he's a real American icon, so we were really happy we had that book.
We, of course, look for bright colors and anything that will attract children, subject matter that will attract children, and presentation of that subject that will attract them.
It's a sweeping historical epic that spans centuries in Russia, Poland, Israel, and the United States.
It's a personal memory of Martin Luther King's junior sister about the march that took place in August 23rd, 1963. And because it's a personal memory, it brings the whole event alive for children of today.
Something we had never seen anybody write about before. It's a man with Tourette syndrome writing from his own personal experience with it.
We chose Elizabeth C. Bunce's retelling of Rumpelstiltskin set against the backdrop of the Industrial Revolution, the adventures of a mill owner's daughter as she tries to save her mill and at the same time cope with threats from the outside world.